Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Fluent English 1-to-1. I am Purnima. Today I am going to talk about one very common topic, that is fluency. So what new I am going to give here is my perspective, the way I decoded it. So if you are a learner who is struggling at very initial stage, then this video is meant for you. Before I begin with the topic in detail, I would like to know, what do you understand by fluency? What do you think? What is fluency in any language? Do you think that if somebody is speaking too fast, without taking any break, any pauses, without emotion, can we say that that person is fluent in that particular language? Actually, no. So let's find out, what do we understand by this term fluency? How much do we understand this and what are the gaps? Okay, so what do you understand? What is fluency? Can we say that if a person is speaking any language effortlessly and it's so smooth and natural, do we call that person fluent? Yes. Additionally, whatever that person is speaking, that should make some sense. It should not be gibberish, right? So it's very simple to understand. Any person who can speak fluently means that they are speaking that language effortlessly and very naturally, the way they speak in their own tongue. Do you agree? Right. Here we need to understand that the level of fluency may vary from individual to individual in different situations. So if a person is at very starting stage, that person should focus upon fluency in conversational English. So here I will explain a little bit about conversation also. What is a conversation? Real conversation require minimum 2 people or more than that. What happens during conversation is that one person speaks and another listens and then they respond. It can start with one question or it can start with a kind of a statement. One person can start with one question. Questions like, how are you? The reply could be, I am fine, thank you. And with some statement, for example, what a nice day. Yes, indeed. So that's the real life conversation. To get fluency, you must have heard of many advice like think in English, don't try to translate it, think in English, and listen to podcast or some other exercises, be thorough with the grammar and the tenses and everything. So everything is fine, there are the usage, but what I am trying to tell you here, today I am going to give you some practical tips for fluency. If you will apply those tips in your real life, I am sure you will be fluent in English in lesser period of time. You noticed here what was going on in this conversation. Very first thing is, a conversation starts with a question or a statement and then it goes on. The second thing is, each individual is not speaking for longer period. They are taking a few seconds to 2 to 3 minutes max, and then there is an interval that is giving time for relaxation, processing of thought, and then respond. So if I'll put in a simpler and easiest way, you have to speak only for 20 to 30 seconds without grammar error, or even if you're making grammar error, so that's okay, but try to improve it later on. Can you do it? Yes, you can. If I can do it, so can you. That's why I say fluency and confidence in the conversational English is way easier to achieve than we think. So now let's discuss what are the crucial things we do not focus upon, but they are immensely important. So very first thing is clarity of thought. Second is time taken. Third is length of sentences. Fourth is selection of words or vocabulary used. Fifth is open and close-ended questions or statements. Now let's understand these things one by one. I'll first talk about what is clarity of thought. Okay. So it's very simple to understand. When you are clear, when you are certain, when you are sure what you have to say, what you have to reply to a certain question or statement, that's called clarity of thought. Just like in our first term, we know what we want to say. Okay. So what's the problem here? The problem is there could be 2 types of questions. First is open-ended question and second is close-ended questions. So the close-ended questions they require very small or 1 or 2 word answers. Okay, people do not worry about replying to close-ended questions because they are shorter. Sometimes only one word can convey the sense, convey the message. But for whenever there is an open-ended question, or where you have to reply in detail, where you have to explain something in detail, that time you struggle, because you are at learning stage, and when you have to speak for more than one or two sentences, that time it becomes a problematic situation for you, isn't it? Even then you can survive the conversation. I will tell you how. Let's first understand this table. I will divide this thing into two parts. First is when you have clarity, and second is when you do not have clarity. So here you can see certain questions and their possible replies. So let's start with the very first question, that is, are you late today? What could be replies? Reply could be yes, I am late, and if you are not late, you will say no, I am not late. So in this question there is no doubt for any clarity. You are 100% sure for this situation. Let's go ahead. Now let's see the second question. Do you want to steal a bank? How much time will you take to reply this question? No, I don't want to steal a bank. Why would I? Right? So there is no scope of any doubt. I agree, exceptions are always there, but still 99% people will say no, I don't want to steal a bank, right? Or do you like living in Mumbai? Yes, I like it. Do you like blue color? And this question is little tricky. You will see here, this is a close-ended question. Reply could be yes and no, but here there is a scope of other possibility. If you like the blue color so much, you will say yes, I do. If you don't like the blue color, you will say I don't. But if you want to explain that I like blue color also, and I like other color also, you just think of the very first thing what you are going to say in your first tongue. So you can start with the very first sentence, what you are going to reply in your first tongue. Getting my point? So the reply will not be, it's not going to be something very unique than your regular reply in your first tongue. You have to understand that through your replies you are conveying your thoughts. Okay, so there you need not to worry about some universal truth or something very hard and fast that you cannot say this thing first or that thing second. In short, you should control your overthinking. Your reply could be I like white color more than blue. So reply could be anything, and there could be many other ways to reply this question. So always remember, whatever is coming to your brain first, you can say that thing. It's okay. It's totally fine. Nobody is going to judge you. They are just trying to build a conversation. They are not any examiner. They just want to start some conversation. That's why they ask such question. Right? Now let's see the open-ended question. When we talk about the descriptive questions, that time you have so many information in your brain, you have so many things to say, and you do not know where to start. And it is a problem with everybody. And it is a problem with everybody, and it is the problem in their mother tongue also. But how do we start in our mother tongue? We start with some sentence. We don't think much about from where we should start. But when it comes for speaking in English, you become very nervous, and you just think of selecting a very correct and right sentence of saying. So you just narrow down your thoughts. Select any thought. I know at this particular time translation is going on in your head, and because of that people say that thinking in English is required. If you can omit the translation stage, then your fluency will be really good. I know, but still if you are at a struggling stage, so there are the ways to overcome this situation, and gradually you can have that ability to think in English and respond. So coming back to our point, when you have multiple thoughts, when you have multiple things to say, instead of wasting time for selecting one perfect thought, start with the first sentence you got it first, and gradually try to explain and build answer around it. If you will practice this, you will not feel very nervous. Why did you choose this career path? Now here comes little bit more explanation, and you might have clarity and you might not have clarity. You can have clarity that I like this field, because of that I have selected this field. Or you have just selected that particular career path just like that, because everybody was doing, because of that you have done it, right? Or you had a family background, because of that you selected that path. The answer could be any of this. My point is, you need not to worry about to find out a perfect answer. You should start with what is coming to your brain first. And whatever sentence is coming to your brain first, that should be clear. That's the bottom line. I'll say it again. Whatever sentence is coming to your brain, you can start with that sentence. You should not do grammatical mistake over there, and even if you are doing the grammatical mistake, that's okay. You can make another sentence immediate after that, so that's okay. The main point is to respond to that question. And with this, our second point is related, the time taken. What happens when we speak to somebody in our first tongue, we do not think much about the answer, we reply immediately, or sometimes we take time. But when it comes for replying in English, so many things are going on in our head. In such situation, if you want to have confidence, so don't waste time. I'm not telling you must respond without thinking. You should respond with a proper thought, not too fast, not too slow. Take your time and respond it, and then keep going on with the conversation. I hope you understood this point. I'll give you this example. If somebody will ask you, how are you? Your response could be, I'm fine, thank you. Sometimes people take time to reply this kind of questions also. Do practice and at least achieve this level. Now come to the descriptive question. As I asked you that why did you select this particular career path, so your answer could be anything. Just think of a real life situation, and nobody will come to you and they will say immediately that question, why did you select this path? It is not going to happen. In real life situation, the descriptive questions comes during later part of the conversation. You can maintain this timing. It means that you are building the confidence and you are nailing down that conversation. And this confidence will give you strength to survive for descriptive answer. But if you will lose your confidence for such small questions, you are going to lose your confidence further. I hope you understood the point. Don't waste time. If you can reply any question immediately, you can reply. If you cannot, you can take some time and you can reply. So don't take too much time and don't reply in hurry. Another point is length of the sentences. I always suggest make easy and short sentences when you are at learning stage, when you are at beginner stage, because when we are speaking only 1 or 2 or 3 sentences, we are not speaking more than 1 minute, and it's really helpful, right? We can speak right English when our sentences are small. We know what to speak, and it's really helpful way to show confidence. You are at learning stage, you are at beginner stage, and this time small confidence is going to help you. If you are making complex sentences, I'll give you one example. Why do you want to become an actor? I want to become an actor because I like it, and that's what I can do best. Or you can ask question to that fellow, what do you like, or why do you want to become a doctor or so, something like that. Your conversation will keep going on. Okay, now if you want to explain everything and your story, and you want to share everything, why do you want to be an actor, who inspired you, what is your aim, what do you want to do after becoming a successful actor, something like that. If you want to explain these all things in the response of this small question, you are going for a trap, because so many things would be involved here, and you are going to quit the conversation and you will run for your comfort zone. So don't do that. Instead, make small sentences, and you can start with 1 or 2 sentences, or max 3 to 4 sentences. Whatever I am suggesting, there is no hard and fast rule. If somebody can do it, they can do it. I am suggesting to the people who are at beginner stage and they stuck there. Then selection of words and vocabulary. You need to remember that you can increase your vocabulary, but if you do not use right vocabulary, and if you use fancy words where it is not required, you are going to make fun of yourself. Moreover, another person has better vocabulary than you, they are going to showcase their vocabulary, and in that situation you won't be able to understand. So don't challenge yourself there. Instead, use for such word which is commonly used in the day-to-day conversation. And last is open-ended questions and counter questions. If you want to survive in any conversation, you must have certain open-ended question in your bucket, and you must know how to use cross questions, because that's how the conversation will keep going on. You will reply to certain question, and you will ask certain question to another person. That person will reply, and that person will give the answer and ask another question, and that's how the circle will be formed, and that conversation will last for longer period. Let's summarize all the points. First, clarity of thought is required. You must know what you're going to say, and don't worry, practice to bring clarity in your thoughts. Among so many thoughts, start with the very first thought coming in your brain. Narrow down this line. Second, do not speak in hurry. Do not take too much time. Either way is wrong. Instead of making complex sentences, make easy and short sentences. Do not use fancy vocabulary if it is not required. Exceptions are always there, and always be open for cross questioning and open-ended question. I hope you enjoyed the video. I prepared this topic, and I was trying to make it as easier and as understandable for the beginners. At last, I want to give some bonus tips if you want to borrow the time, because many times it happens that you know the answer, but you are just taking time to process your thought. So I have a few tips for that. If you want to borrow time, you can try this. Very first thing, if you do not understand the question, you can ask the question again. Could you please repeat? Pardon me. It will be helpful if you can repeat. You can say this. Even if you understood the question, you can try this. This will give you some time. Second, repeat what they said. What do you do? What do I do? You're trying to ask my profession. At the last, you can ask a counter question. Sometime if you have friendly circle, and if you have family gathering, you can have these kind of conversations. So always remember that conversation can happen in any kind of situation. Situation could be formal and casual. So your tone of saying or asking the question are going to vary. So be prepared and do practice. I consider myself as a lifelong learner of this language, and I am building Fluent English 1-to-1. Fluent English 1-to-1 is a platform where we are giving professional training to the individual. We have a team of trained trainers. If you are interested to experience the demo class and explore the service, you can contact us. I am going to give the link in the description box. Yes, I hope you liked the video, and if you do not like, you want some improvement, please let me know. I am learning to make videos. So thanks again for watching, and do subscribe our channel and support us.